Hosting is a business skill and it's becoming a bit of a lost art. I reckon hosting starts long before anybody arrives at your event. Things like where do they park, which entrance do they come in, who's meeting them, what time will they be finished, so they can get on and plan the rest of their day. Every little uncertainty that you remove is a signal about how you will handle their project. So people generalize wildly from logistics, and they're not wrong to. So confirm it in writing the day before, briefly with some practical details in the first two lines. Most people bury all of that underneath the pleasantries, and their guest turns up a little bit anxious and stressed. So that's not how you really want to start a conversation with people. The other thing that you can do is that, and it separates good hosts from show offs. Your job is their comfort. It's not your own amazing impressiveness. Most people use hospitality to display something. So it might be the venue, the wine list, the view, but better hosts do something much less glamorous, which is paying attention. So, do they actually want a long lunch, or do they have school pickup, or do they drink? Have you asked about dietary requirements without turning it into a whole discussion? Just ask one question in advance and then actually use the answer. So, whether they'd rather finish by two, whether they hate seafood, maybe they're heading straight to the airport afterwards. Remembering that is the entire skill, and hardly anyone bothers anymore. Being properly looked after is much rarer and far more memorable than being impressed. And the third thing that you can do is make an introduction, and that is the gift. The most generous thing you can do as a host is connect two of your guests who really ought to know each other and then just get out of the way. Costs you nothing, and it elevates your positioning, and that reputation compounds for years. And then follow up with something really special. So, not a thank you for your time. It might be you send the book you mentioned, or you do the introduction you promised, and do that within 48 hours while it's still all pretty warm. So, everyone is building funnels at the moment, and almost nobody is building rooms that people want to be invited back into. So, if you host clients, what is your non negotiable? I'd love to know.